It's time for The Local with your host and realtor, Katie McKinney.
Hey guys, it's Katie, your local real estate professional, and today I'm excited to have Katelyn Vanderwork here on the podcast. Katelyn, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yes.
To talk to you about
Is this your first podcast?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Happy to have her on here. So Katelyn is a kind of a jack of all trades. She is kind of everything. A mom, a wife, a businesswoman, a nurse, and a business owner. So, Katelyn, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a native to Woodward, born and raised. Let's see. My whole family is from here, so my mom and my dad's side. My mom went to school at Sharon Mutual, my dad here. Fast forward, I graduate high school. I went to Stillwater for 3 years, and then, go Pokes.
Go Pokes.
Was getting my degree in health and sciences, and then decided I wanted to do nursing. So I transferred to Southwestern and started their program. Graduated in 2013, and then moved back.
Awesome. So really the nursing brought you back home. I mean, you probably would have come home anyway or something else.
I was planning on moving home.
Yeah.
Austin.
Yes, your
my
husband. Okay.
Works at Farm Credit.
Yes.
So he was already moved back.
Yeah.
Because he's a little bit older than me.
Great. Awesome. And, obviously you said you're from this area. Mm-hmm. Had you always thought, hey, I'm going to go back to the Woodward area once I'm ready to settle down, have a family, have a career?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I like the small town. Mm-hmm. Also, it takes a village to raise a
family.
Yes.
Yes.
You need lots of help and people that you can trust. Mm-hmm. So that was just always...
Having family is pretty neat, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My family doesn't live here, so families like yours, where you have a lot of people to help out and that sort of thing's kind of neat to see. So
it's definitely a plus.
Blessing. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. So obviously you are a labor and delivery nurse still actively, but you also own a business called the Pretty Petaler.
Right.
Tell us how you got into the floral industry. I don't know how else to say it. Floral industry. Yeah. How did you get into that industry?
So just a disclaimer, I am not like a certified florist. Just to put that out there.
Who needs a certified florist?
I would say growing up, I always loved flowers. They just kind of make things special. Mm-hmm. They really give a nostalgic, you smell a lilac and you think about, your great-grandmother's house or something like that. Mm-hmm. And my great-grandmother and my grandmother were both artists.
Oh.
And my grandmother's house was full of paintings, oil paintings of floral arrangements that my grandmother had arranged, cut out of her own garden and arranged and painted. So I just kind of decided I want to grow flowers like that.
Yes.
I can't necessarily paint them,
Right.
but I want to do that just as kind of a hobby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I started my own garden, and it just kind of grew, and then I had plenty of blooms to share, and just kind of came off of that.
Sharing is caring.
Yes.
And so obviously what inspired you was the history with your great-grandmother and your grandmother. And then also your garden now. I mean, I see pictures of it. I'm like, wow. I didn't know that you could grow that in Northwest Oklahoma just because of all of the weather that we have.
Right.
I know it's probably a little bit more challenging, but you can grow certain ones. Is that kind of...
There are some that are definitely hardier than others.
Yeah.
I live in town,
yes.
So that is obviously a plus.
Yes.
Living out in the country and trying to grow things is like...
Yeah. The
not
wind and
they
the
don't
dirt
mix,
and
the bugs and
the
everything
bugs,
else.
yes.
Yeah. So I kind of have a sheltered area.
Yeah. That's neat.
But yeah, there are hardier blooms than others,
Yeah, that's neat that you've got the inspiration, but then you know the area because you're from this area to know kind of what to expect there. So neat. And so what type of floral projects or designs do you primarily focus on? What are your favorites?
I would say like weddings, events. I've done some stuff for showers. Mm-hmm. We did a workshop for Thanksgiving, and that was a lot of fun. We did that at the homestead, and I think people kind of crave stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
You can go to the city and do things like that, but we are kind of lacking in that department, and I had a really good turnout, and everybody had a beautiful centerpiece for their Thanksgiving table.
Yes.
And yeah, it was just fun.
I saw pictures of that, and I thought, obviously the events, and we'll touch more on the events and wedding side, but the classes I think are so cool. I know Larry Hill is doing some art classes, yeah, so he's starting to do those, and then with that class specifically, there is, I think, a need for experiences here in Woodward.
Yeah.
People say, okay, well, we can go to the city and get that experience. We can go to the city and, but there's no reason that we shouldn't have it here, at least have an opportunity to have that experience. And I know my generation especially, we kind of get a bad rap because we're on our phones a lot, or technology, or whatever it might be. Yours as well, because we're probably in the same generation. But it's funny that but it's funny that
Call me old.
Yeah, not calling her old. Anyways, it's funny that we lack kind of those experiences, and that's kind of what we crave. And so seeing Larry do that, and others as well as yourself, I think that's really neat. Is that more? Do you think that you'll have more of those in the future?
I am.
Okay.
Planning on doing probably a Mother's Day one.
Ooh,
you could bring your mom, maybe a little brunch thing.
Yes.
I think that would be really fun.
I think so too.
That's all I've got right now. But yes, I definitely want to do more in the future.
Planning. Yeah. You had a great turnout. I mean, how many you think were there? I know there was a limited
we had
space.
Around 24.
24.
There was some fires over by Fargo, so it
Yeah.
kind of cut some people out.
Yeah. Yeah.
The wind was like outrageous
Crazy.
that day.
Yes.
So yeah, but we had a good turnout.
Good,
Yeah.
good. I wanted to be there really bad, and I know that there was a lot of people there for certain. So, on the events and wedding side, what is your favorite part about doing the event and the wedding side?
So I feel like you're only going to get married once, or hopefully get married once.
Yes.
And that's a huge day in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people want it to be special, but they don't necessarily know where to go.
Yeah.
Or a certain style or something like that. So I would say my favorite part is just making it what they want.
Right.
Because it's going to be a memory that's going to last them forever. With Pinterest out there, it's kind of crazy.
It is.
People's expectations are
crazy.
kind of crazy, but
I want
it's
this
an awesome resource as well.
Yeah, exactly. They can get inspiration, but makes me laugh when people say, "Well, I want this at my party or my wedding, but I'm going to give you a $10 budget to make this." $200. I'm sure you get it sometimes.
Yeah.
And you work with them. I'm sure, you say, well, this is the inspiration. We'll work off of these, color schemes or whatever it might be. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And I guess bringing the event to life.
Yeah. So, I always tell people, put your money where people are going to see it.
Yes.
So, and where your main pictures are going to be taken. So if you're going to have like an arbor, put your money on the arbor. Your bouquet will be in most of the pictures, focal points like that.
Right.
And then kind of keep, if you're on a tight budget, keep the centerpieces smaller.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of options out there. Lots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's when I got married, I went, what?
It's overwhelming.
What can we do? Exactly.
And I want to take that weight off your shoulders.
Exactly. You can hire the Pretty Petaler, and she will help you in that transition and getting and budget. I mean, that's one thing. The budget is, for a lot of these weddings, weddings are so expensive for a lot of different reasons. But you can help kind of adjust to whatever somebody's budget is, right?
Yeah. And kind of make it more realistic as to what things cost, give them a better idea, because I don't think that people really do know what flowers cost.
I think that's definitely true. Yeah. And do you do any, like Mother's Day is coming up, or I guess
Valentine's Day
is one that's going to be, which I know by the time this is done, this Valentine's will be over, but Mother's Day and everything else coming up, birthdays, do you do special events like that?
I do if the order is big enough.
Okay.
If it's worth it to me to order bulk.
Yeah.
And make it profitable.
Yeah, of course.
If not, I usually turn down.
Yeah.
But if I can use the flowers in another way and make you an arrangement, I'm more than happy to. Just give me a few days notice.
Awesome. Yep. Good to note. A few days
we have
notice.
To order them in.
Asterisk. Yes. Very important. Yes. Awesome. So what are we've talked about a few of them, but what are some of the common misconceptions of the industry and, kind of planning those events on the floral side?
So I'd say definitely pricing is one of the misconceptions. You know, you get brides that show you this Pinterest bouquet with all of these premium blooms that at wholesale cost can be anywhere from like $2 to $8 a bloom each stem.
Wow.
So then it's a business. So obviously you have a markup.
Of course.
So then you're looking at maybe $16 for one stem. So we can kind of hone people in and do a mix of the lower end flowers with the higher end and get the same look.
Yeah.
Another misconception I think people have is the amount of time that it takes.
Yes.
Because it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
You get the flowers in and process the flowers, recut all the stems, dethorn, get all the foliage off, fresh water, floral food.
That's a lot. That's a lot of steps. I can't even keep a succulent alive.
And then you recut. I mean, you want the blooms to be at their most open stage.
Right, at the event.
Yeah. Because that's the prettiest, I think. You don't want a really tight rose. You want it to be nice and open.
Yeah.
So, you're recutting the stems, getting fresh water. Allie, I know, knows about this.
Yes, she does.
So, there's a lot that goes into it. Yeah. And you're also paying for that as
labor.
Well. It's a service and the labor.
The time.
Yes.
Because there obviously is a lot of time. And, if you paid someone like me a lesser amount, I wouldn't keep them alive. And so make sure you put your trust in someone like Katelyn. Right. It could get interesting. I'll just say that. And I mean, have you seen a lot of DIY flower people? I feel like that's kind of difficult to do.
Well, I mean, there are some websites that do the DIY packages. My aunt came down and did all the flowers for my wedding, and they were beautiful. She worked at a country club and was familiar with events.
Yeah.
She was really into that, and it was beautiful. But I think it can be really stressful, too, if you yourself as the bride are trying to put all of that stuff together like the night before.
Yeah. Oh, it would be. Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
My aunts, I love all of them dearly, but I don't think that they would want to do that. I think it'd be a little too much stress. So
I think that those sites are great resources, though, if you're looking for inspiration. Like, they will have different color options, packages that you can get.
Right.
And you can really look through certain blooms to see what you like.
That's neat. Yeah. That's really neat. So, those are a few of the misconceptions, because I feel like there are misconceptions. There are in every industry. And most people probably don't understand why they're paying a certain amount for, a design or bouquet or whatever it is that you do.
Yeah.
But
we're not just getting pretty flowers and throwing them in a vase. I can promise you that.
It sounds like, just with the steps that you mentioned, I was like, I'm out. Yeah, I can't do those by myself. Most
it's pretty time consuming.
Oh, I bet. So why do you, obviously you grew up here, your family's from here, you moved away to Stillwater, go Pokes again, and then you came back here. So why do you enjoy being a businesswoman or doing business here in Northwest Oklahoma?
First of all, I just love Woodward. But I feel like this area, again, is craving a certain style, or there's younger people, and with social media and all of these outlets that people can go and look at different design techniques, that we were kind of needing something that specialized in that. And with me not doing everyday floral, I have time to spend on just the design aspect. And also reconnecting with old friends. I know that I've done some stuff for like the Homestead Grand Opening, and I hadn't seen Whitney in forever, and we grew up playing 8 and under softball together. So just kind of serving the community and making things special for them.
Excellent. And obviously having your family growing up together and everything here as well with the family aspect is really neat. I think it all goes back to people is what it goes back to, and the connections there and the experiences as well. So, well, that's all the questions I've got. We will have all the information for the Pretty Petaler on the video. So if you want to connect with Katelyn and get on her schedule, maybe have a design consultation, you do those, I'm sure, and be looking. She's got social media galore. That's one thing I really love about her in her business is it's progressives may not be the right word, but it's very artistic, forward thinking when it comes to the different options. She's got some great options that are going to be on her social media, so make sure you follow that and keep up to date with everything she's got. But Katelyn, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Get your